Hey folks, this is Tracy with Scrappy's Rustics. We're going to create a cute whimsical pumpkin. We're using Waverly chalk paint in the color pumpkin. That is a wood round from the Dollar Tree, and we're using a variety of paint pens and markers. This is parchment paper with a pumpkin traced that I found on my laptop. That is carbon paper. The parchment paper, I found an image on my laptop that I liked. I put the parchment paper up on it and I traced around the image. We put 2 coats of pumpkin on this wood round and dried it in between coats. Love this pumpkin orange. Such a pretty color. And using our Ranger heat tool. This pumpkin, it came out a little different than it was in my mind, but it ends up being cute and whimsical in the end. It kind of looks like an orange at some point, most of the points, but it's still cute. So I need to get my face image the same exact size as my surface, because once I put the carbon paper down, I can't really see my placement. So I'm trying to figure out how to get this exactly where I need it, because where I want it. So I ultimately ended up getting a Sharpie and just going around the edges, just because you can't see once you put the carbon paper down, and with the hole in the center, which I probably should have filled that hole in hindsight, but I didn't, so it's fine. So this worked. There's probably easier ways to do this, but this worked for me. This is what I've done in the past, and I've used this parchment paper tracing. I can't draw to save my life, so this has worked for me. I cut down the carbon paper, and then I realized I used that piece for what's her name, Begonia. So I had to grab another piece. It wasn't the full size, but I didn't need it, the carbon paper, in those areas anyways. So then I just took a ballpoint pen and I went over my parchment pencil tracing, pressing somewhat hard. I mean, not hard enough to indent the wood, but hard enough to transfer my image. So I just went around that whole thing, staying in sections, so I knew what I did and what I didn't do. And if you miss, it's not that big of a deal. You'll know what to fill in. This is a great way. If you can't draw or paint, if you could paint, you can skip all this. But I cannot do that. So there we have it. Our image is transferred on our round. And this paint pen ended up not working. It's been dried out for a while. You would think I would throw it out by now, but I haven't. I stuck it back in the jar again. So then I'm using this big boy, and it starts working out great, and I decide I need a little more paint, and all disaster strikes. So that big old blob, I got so lucky, y'all. It did not go outside of my white lines. How, I have no idea. It doesn't look like a big blob too much in this picture, but trust me, it was. So I was like, all right, well, I'll go with it. Nothing really more we can do. So I finished outlining it and did the best I can. I wasn't going to do that again because it was really pouring out of there. So I decided to let that dry. Let's go on to this turquoise color. I love this color for their eyes. It's the only one I've ever used. I don't know why. I'm just so attracted to it. It just makes their eyes come alive. If you can find this paint, it's a glass paint brush. It is so nice and it works so good. I highly recommend them. If you see them, grab one. The brush on it is so smooth and so nice, and it really puts the black paint on there nice. So I added a little pink to her cheeks, and that was kind of like too fluorescent pink for me. So I ended up putting some white in there, you'll see. So this is a paint marker. I think it's a white marker. I don't know what it is, but it stinks. It's from the Dollar Tree as well. Last time I used it, the felt part came out, and I got lucky. Stuff went flying everywhere. It got the job done. I didn't have any other white options, so this worked. It did take longer to dry. But it stunk. It really stunk. So I dried it up. I messed up the mouth, so I ended up coloring the whole thing in black. So here we have some lamb's ear, a little rusty thing for the stem, and we used to have these. I don't think we have them any. I think we're out of stock for these rusty butterflies. They're Finnabar. So we're going to use that as well. So that rusty thing just came out of my stash. Anything rusty I ever find, I put it in a little area and use it when I need it. the rusty thing did not set well on the round, so I figured I'd glue the leaves down first, and then I could glue the rusty thing to the leaves. And that ended up working for the most part. Now we're really looking like an orange. I live in Florida, so being an orange isn't so bad. Really looks like an orange with his leaves on there. So funny. All right, so I just end up putting the glue on the leaves, and that worked. He's looking kind of cute. His mouth's a little jacked up, but it's okay. I colored the wrong part in black, and by that time it was too late, so I had to color the whole thing black. It is what it is. He ends up coming out cute. Orange, pumpkin, whatever you want to call him. So that is metal, so I did have to hold it there a little longer. So now I'm like, this really looks like an orange. Let's put some lines in here and see if we can get a pumpkin out of this. So I think it looks a little more pumpkin-y with the lines on him. They're crooked as all could be, but hey, no pumpkin is perfect, nor straight. And then I also realized I wanted to go around the outside of it with my ink pad, and I forgot. I should have done it before I glued all that stuff on, but here's a great opportunity for you to see my little trick. If you do the same, or after the fact you decide you want to do this, you can get just a tiny brush with a kind of a stiff bristles. Just dip it in and kind of mimic that same motion when you put the ink pad on, and dip it in, and just it'll give the same exact look. It will not ruin your brush if you clean it with a baby wipe right away, like I do right here. Just get it cleaned up, and I've done this several times, and my brush is fine. So now, since he's looking down and he needs to have a butterfly on his nose, we're gonna bend this so it looks like it's sitting on his nose. It has a little jewelry thing on, so we're gonna snip that off, put a little hot glue, and be sure to check out our website at Scrappy's Rustics. Please feel free to share, like, and comment if you enjoyed this video. And to see more, follow me both on Facebook and YouTube. And don't forget to turn on notifications for both so you're notified when new videos are uploaded. Thank you for watching, and look how cute he is. See you in the next video.